NASA once lost $327 million and 7 years worth of work due to an engineering communication error between engineering teams. So this was the Mars Orbiter project, and there were two engineering teams that were going to be really crucial for the success of this project, right? There was the contractors team and there was the jet propulsion team. Now, these were teams of engineers, right? And what was supposed to happen with their teamwork was to send an orbiter, let's say this is the orbiter, around Mars. Let's say my fist is Mars. And they were supposed to send it, and what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to orbit at a distance of what you see on the screen, for example. Now, what actually happened once they orbited it, or sent the orbiter, was it was super fucking close to the atmosphere, super fucking close, and it lost connection to Earth. Now, we don't know what happened to it. It either burned up in the atmosphere or it got eaten by aliens or something. We don't know. But it was a massive, massive fucking error in the calculations of these engineers. So they spent months, literally months, looking for an error that was in their work, in their calculations. And after those months, they found out that it was a completely fucking terrible mistake that was stupid and should not have happened at all. One of those teams used pound force seconds and one of them used Newton seconds. How fucking terrible is that? Such a stupid mistake. Like, imagine, that's the same as one person measuring the dimensions of a car or something with their tape measure and it reads in inches. And then somebody else interprets those units as millimeters. You can see how fucking terrible it is when you don't use the same and you don't communicate the same units. That's right, a multi-billion-dollar company had a simple communication error and lost millions and years of work. Now let me ask you, do you really think you're a good communicator? If those advanced engineers at a company of NASA failed to communicate, are you really a good communicator? Because I see a lot of engineering students, they're thinking, oh, English is such a stupid class. I don't know why we have to take it in engineering. Shut the fuck up. Communication is so important and it loses millions of dollars for companies. And this is a common occurrence in the industry. And this one was one of the fucking most tragic ones because they lost so much money, so much time, and they got fucking clowned for it. Imagine you worked at a company and you spent 7 years of your life trying to make this project succeed. You're working overtime. You're even coming home late and all of your kids are asleep. You're sacrificing so much and the company spends so much of their money, so much of their investments into this project. And then it fucking fails. It fucking fails because of some communication error that you spend months trying to look for. And then, not even the worst part, but you get fucking clowned for it by the public. You get humiliated. Like, how can you expect even to get into the engineering industry if you don't have communication skills? Imagine you're talking to a recruiter and you can't communicate shit about who you are because you don't have communication skills. You might have all the skills, all the knowledge necessary for that job, but if you can't communicate it, if you can't talk clearly, if you can't talk concisely, then you're not going to get the job. Communication is so fucking important, and I emphasize it time and again in my program, Engineering Employment Mission, why it is so important that you're communicating in the perfect way when you're writing your resumes, when you're writing your cover letters, when you're talking to the interviewer face to face. You have to know how to talk to people in person, and you also have to know how to communicate when you're just writing words, like literally typing words on a piece of paper. And once you show your communication skills in the interview and the hiring process, you're going to need to continue to communicate all the time in the job because you're going to be talking to contractors, you're going to be talking to outsourcers, you're going to be talking to all the departments of the company. It is so fucking important in engineering. And communication is one of the largest pillars that I have in the Engineering Employment Mission. So if you're not a good communicator, I highly recommend that you join this program because I could show you how to communicate your skills that you already do have through a cover letter and through a resume. Because let's put this through one lens, okay? Let's put this through a funny situation. Let's say a monkey who can't communicate, he can't write, he can't communicate to people. That's it. He can't talk, nothing like that. And let's say he gets the brain of Nikola Tesla himself. He has all the engineering knowledge, all the smarts of Nikola Tesla. Now let's say we put him in front of an interviewer who's looking for an engineer. Do you really think this fucking monkey is gonna get the job? Is he gonna get the job? No, he's not. Because how is the interviewer gonna know that this monkey's actually a fucking genius? How's this interviewer gonna know, huh? The monkey can't communicate. So in the same way, when you can't communicate in real life, your knowledge doesn't mean shit. Your knowledge doesn't mean shit. Holy fuck. So think about it as an equation, right? You could say knowledge times communication equals success. This monkey that we were just talking about, 1,000 knowledge points, but 0 communication. 0 times 1,000, million, whatever it is, 0 times anything is always going to be 0. In the same case as NASA, those engineers, they had all the fucking knowledge in the world, probably like a million knowledge points. Times it by 0 communication, no success. All that money, all that time, gone. Got humiliated, spent a massive boring amount of time trying to look for an error. Holy fuck, you can't call that anywhere near a success. Absolute failure when you don't have communication. So now you need some action steps on how to become a great communicator when you're in school. Because when you're in school, there's going to be some opportunities that you can communicate. Okay, so first one is group projects. Now I'm not just going to say the basic knowledge of, talk in your group projects. No. There's specific things that you have to do when you're in group projects, okay? When you have group projects, you're going to want in-person meetings. Because in-person meetings, that's where you communicate most effectively if you're face-to-face with someone. Because in an interview, you're going to be talking to someone face-to-face, right? So what better way to do that when you're talking to other group members in your group face-to-face, right? Now, the second thing I should say is that you should take meeting notes during your meetings. Because when you're in the meeting, so many things are being communicated at once. You need to actually absorb all of that information that is being said by everyone in the group, right? Because afterwards, you're going to fucking forget. You're going to be like, what the fuck just happened? So have those notes, right? Because you're going to be taking notes. Imagine if you're in that NASA situation and somebody took notes on someone saying Newton seconds instead of pound force. They would be like, what the fuck? Are they using different units? Imagine they noted that down. That fucking mistake would have never happened, right? They would have saved $300 million, 7 years of their time. They would have been so much happier right now if they communicated properly, if they took notes during meetings. So you too, in your group meetings, when you're in person, make sure you take notes. Because afterwards, a lot of these motherfucking group members, they're going to forget. They're going to be like, oh shit, what? And then they're going to feel so embarrassed to ask the group members again. They're like, oh shit, I can't remember what we talked about in the group meeting. But if you have notes, then you could actually just send the notes to these group members and they won't feel embarrassed to ask you anything. Because a lot of people, they are embarrassed to ask questions and they think they might be stupid, right? If they ask them. They fear embarrassment, which brings me to the third point, which is to ask the stupid questions that you have. I know you have a lot of stupid questions that arise in group meetings. I know I do. And you got to ask them, okay? A lot of the time, they might not be stupid. Like imagine someone at NASA in that story that I told earlier. Imagine someone just asked that stupid question of like, what unit are we using? Imagine someone asked that. And someone might have thought they were dumb, but that would be a fucking smart question in hindsight, right? It would have been a smart ass question. They would have saved all that money. They would have saved all that time. They would have saved all that humiliation, man. We would have literally been 7 years ahead in space travel if we had that project successful, right? Because 7 years lost. But if we didn't lose those 7 years, we would be ahead right now. Imagine. Ask the dumb questions, man. Ask the stupid questions. Some other group member in your group might be thinking the same question and they might be also scared to ask that question. So ask the stupid questions. That's what communication is about. Making sure everyone's on the same page. Making sure that everyone knows what the fuck they're doing so that you can have a successful outcome. Now, bonus tip, once you have the communicational skills and the communication experiences, you could talk about them in your cover letter and in your resume, and I'll show you exactly how once you join the Engineering Employment Mission program down below.